See, arches of the foot in the sense when you just like place your foot on the ground, it's not completely flat, right? It is showing, if you see the footprint, you will see there will be some elevation like arched area on the medial side and also on the lateral side. Medial side, it is very well pronounced when you compare on lateral side, isn't it? So here what I see is, see this arch which is little higher in size is medial longitudinal arch, and the other side we have is lateral longitudinal arch. When you see the articulated foot, not only we have medial and lateral longitudinal arches, we also have two transverse arches. What are those? Anterior and posterior transverse arches. Now, before we proceed, we will just revise the names of the tarsal bones, which will be actually taking a great share in the formation of these arches. So, what are the bones we have in the tarsal bones? We have talus, then we have calcaneum,
Okay.
navicular, cuboid, then three cuneiforms: medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, lateral cuneiform. Isn't it? So all these are tarsal bones. The metatarsal bones are five in number. We are numbering them from great toe or big toe from medial to lateral side. First metatarsal, second, third, fourth, and fifth, so on. Then we have the phalangeal bones, which are 14 in number because the great toe has two phalangeal bones and the remaining toes has three each. Isn't it, Buddha? So like that, so we should know the names of tarsal bones first so that we understand the arches easily. Okay. So arches of foot, they help in fast walking, running and jumping. So foot, like see, as I already told you, we have medial and lateral longitudinal arches and anterior and posterior transverse arches. Okay. Then so the foot is actually pliable platform to support the body weight in upright posture. It also acts as a lever to propel the body forwards in walking, running, jumping, isn't it? So actually the arches are supported by intrinsic and extrinsic muscles of sole. In addition to the ligaments, aponeurosis, shape of bones, all these will add to the support and formation of these arches. Now, first of all, let us see the medial arch before we read the theoretical aspect. See here, this is the medial view you have. So, in the medial view of the medial longitudinal arch, the bones what we have are calcaneum, talus, navicular, isn't it? Then we also find this is the cuboid bone, isn't it? Then the chief bone you are also finding first, second, and third metatarsal bones. So whatever bones you are finding here, they form a key role in the formation of medial longitudinal arch. Now let us see. Cephis arch is considerably higher. We have seen in the picture also. This is higher when you compare with the lateral longitudinal arch, and it is resilient than the lateral. That means it's more supportive and strong. So it is a big arch of a small circle. So it has anterior end. The anterior ends are formed by the heads of first, second, and third metatarsals. This one bit. See, these are the first, second, and third heads of the first. This is the anterior end. Then, now when you come to the posterior end, it is formed by the medial tubercle of calcaneum. Which is the medial tubercle? This extreme edge, what we have. This is medial tubercle. So anteriorly we have the heads of first, second, third metatarsals, and posteriorly we have tubercle of calcaneum. Okay. Then summit. Summit means highest point. Okay. The summit of arch is formed by superior articular surface of the body of talus. Now you see, if you consider this as whole arch, then this is talus. So this is like summit point would be this. That means the highest point. See, formed by the superior articular surface of the body of the talus. Okay. Then so this is the superior articular surface where you will see the articulation of the inferior aspect of tibia to form ankle joint. Now after that we have pillars. So we have anterior pillar, Then we have posterior pillar. So anterior pillar is long and weak. It is formed by, see what are the bones we find? Talus, okay, we find this boat shaped navicular, and then we find three cuneiforms from medial side, okay. So then the posterior pillar is short. See, anterior pillar we have long and weak formed by talus, navicular, and see talus, navicular, and three cuneiforms. Okay, and also three metatarsals. This anterior one. So obviously posterior, what is left? That is calcaneum. Okay, it is strong and it is formed by medial part of the calcaneum. So that is all about medial longitudinal arch. I hope you understood. So it is highest and anterior end. You have the heads of the three metatarsals, posteriorly medial tubercle of the calcaneum, isn't it? Then we have summit, the superior surface or the articular surface of the talus. We have anterior pillar, three metatarsals, navicular, three cuneiforms, posteriorly calcaneum. Like this much you try to remember. After that, we have lateral longitudinal arch. See, lateral longitudinal arch is characteristically low. Okay, that means comparatively medial, we do not have such great archness. See, medial one and this lateral. Lateral is comparatively shallow. It's not so highly arched. Okay, here the bones you can see here, calcaneum, cuboid, and the left one, fourth and fifth metatarsal bones. Okay. Now see here, the lateral longitudinal arch is characteristically low and it doesn't have so much mobility. Okay, so it is transmitting the weight of the body to the ground. Okay, so it is a small arch of big circle. There is some disturbance, Ritika. So much. So this is contrast to the medial longitudinal arch. Medial longitudinal arch was quite high, isn't it? Now coming to the summit. Summit I said is the highest point. So it's at the level of articular facets of superior surface of calcaneum. This means this is the summit. At the level of subtalar joint. This is the subtalar joint where I am showing you the arrow. Between the talus and calcaneum, below the talus is subtalar joint. The summit of lateral longitudinal arch is this superior surface. Then we have anterior pillar which is long and weak formed by the cuboid and fourth, fifth metatarsals. Posterior pillar is strong and it is formed by lateral half of calcaneum. Very simple. Main joint is calcaneo-cuboid joint. Okay. Here the main joint is talocalcaneo-navicular joint, the one with medial longitudinal arch. The main joint word is missing, you can just add that. Apart from this, we also have two transverse arches. Okay, heads of the five metatarsals will form anterior transverse arch. Okay, it is complete because it is coming in contact with the ground. Posterior transverse arch is formed by greater part of tarsus, tarsal bones and metatarsal bones. Okay, it is incomplete because only lateral end comes in contact with the ground, the arch forming half a dome which is like this. Okay, then so it is forming the complete another half of a dome with another foot. That means right and left foot together will form the dome-like structure. Okay. Laterally our foot will rest on the ground, but medially it is elevated. Okay, like that. Now, what are the various factors which are maintaining the arches of foot? First of all, shape of the bones. No bone is like very much regular. They are highly irregular, isn't it? They are wedge shaped bones, okay, and between the bones you will see ligaments are there. They are coming from different directions and they are holding the bones together. We have beams, we have bowstrings, okay, slings that keep the summit of arch pulled up. So each of these factors. Now coming to bony factor. What is the shape of bone? I said it is too much wedge shaped. Okay, so the bony factor is not allowing the foot to directly rest on the ground because of the irregular shape. Okay, of course it is not so important also in case with the other points what we are going to discuss. Then we have intersegmental ties. So intersegmental ties, we have spring ligament for the medial longitudinal arch. Okay, which is shown here with a 13.5 picture. Okay, so in the foot you have this plan. If you remember the dissection of sole, we have plantar aponeurosis, below which we have the muscles of sole one by one. Okay, so we have tendon of tibialis posterior, and then we have spring ligament bridging. What is this bone? Calcaneum and navicular.
Calcaneum.
Okay, and navicular. Okay, beta. Nice, very good. So these are the ligaments, spring ligament for the medial longitudinal arch, and we also have long and short plantar ligaments. Okay, so then in case of transverse arch, the metatarsal bones are held together by interosseous muscles. Isn't it? We have plantar interossea and dorsal interossea, isn't it? In the muscles of sole, which are arranged in 5 layers. Then apart from this, we also have tie beams. Okay, the longitudinal arches are prevented from flattening. First thing is plantar aponeurosis. See how it is holding? Is it allowing the foot to rest on ground flat? No. That is one of the factor which is acting as a tie beam. Okay, and the muscles of first layer of sole, these structures keep the anterior and posterior end of these arches pulled together. Okay. So you just refer the picture numbers given here better so that you will see these structures, plantar aponeurosis and all. Then we also have slings. So slings is something which is pulling from up and holding the arch superiorly and maintaining its shape. So medial longitudinal arch is pulled upwards by tendons passing from posterior compartment of the leg. Do you remember we have what are the Tom, Dick, Harry muscles we discussed when we are doing posterior compartment of leg? Deeper compartment, we have these muscles. Tibialis posterior, flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus. They are coming from the posterior compartment of the leg and entering into the sole. Summit of the lateral longitudinal arch is pulled upwards by lateral compartment muscles. What are those lateral compartment? Peroneus longus and brevis. Okay. Then tendon of tibialis anterior, peroneus longus. Together, they also act as sling. That means pulling up. Okay. Which keep the middle of the foot pulled upwards. Okay. So that's how they support the arches. Then tendon of peroneus longus, if you remember, it travels a quite long distance to get inserted at the base of the great toe, isn't it? So that's how it maintains the transverse arch. So that's all. So suspension, the main suspend